Last year, I talked about 5 different Fox Kids DVDs released with a big newspaper promotion, but since they made so many of them, here are 5 more! These shows might be even crazier than the last time. Let's start off with Spider-Man, one of the all-time great superheroes and one of the all-time great childhood cartoons. While this show began in 1994, Fox Kids would show this relentlessly, well into the early 2000s, and as a big Spider-Man fan at the time with the release of the original movies, I practically watched this show every day. This disc has 2 juicy episodes to show off, but first, we have to talk about this intro. It's just ace. Nothing got me hyped more than seeing Spider-Man duking it out with all these villains, and you gotta love the complex lyrics. So our first episode is The Sins of the Fathers Chapter 2, Make-A-Wish. Yeah, this show always confused me with its long-term story arcs. It's easier to keep track of the Star Wars sequels. So we begin with Peter Parker attending a scientific demo of a high-tech laser, because that's the type of thing they sell tickets for.
In this case, I have designated that the laser cuts only inorganic matter.
The laser is designed to cut through whatever it's programmed to do, like ignoring organic material. JJ certainly looks happy about it, but Dr. Octopus arrives on the scene with his Action Man armor and tries to steal the laser because he helped to create it.
We both worked on it, Otto!
Pingree, you are merely my assistant.
Peter changes into Spider-Man and tries to stop Doc Ock, but he ends up damaging the facility in the process, causing Peter to consider quitting his heroic duties.
The world needs Spider-Man about as much as I need him. I'm through.
He's Spider-Man no more. But when Peter gets given a letter by a young fan, he decides to reverse his decision and do the right thing.
Yeah. I don't need fan mail at a time like this.
Well, give him time. Mr. Grumpy is hell-bent on quitting when he encounters a mysterious woman called Madam Web, and this is one of those characters where no amount of explaining will make any sense to me. She's just some weird mage, talking in riddles and dishing out tarot cards.
You must believe in me, and you must have the faith of a child.
What's that supposed to mean?
She should have her own show on Living. Peter decides to visit the childless Spider-Man, a young girl called Taina, who turns out to be Spider-Man's biggest fan.
Wow, it really is you! I wanted to show you this, my Spider-Man collection!
This was a more innocent time, when obsessive fans were actually allowed to be charming. Spider-Man tells Taina his origin story so I don't have to explain it. Even aliens from far-off galaxies know his origin story. It's the usual thing. Pathetic loser, bitten by a radioactive spider, runs away, turns into a giant spider?
I'm turning into a spider myself!
Aunt May tries to wash him down the drain?
A spider?
Aunt May, it's me, Peter!
Oh, I hate spiders!
The military try to destroy him like it's a Godzilla movie? What kind of sick origin story is this? No, it's just a dream. He really does got the powers. Except for the web shooting, that is, which they go to great lengths to explain.
You must be super smart to think this stuff up.
I think when I was bitten, the spider passed on an instinctive knowledge of how to combine certain enzymes to make this strong, sticky webbing.
As a kid, I never really got the whole web shooter thing. I mean, if you already have the ability to crawl up walls, why wouldn't the mutant spider just give you the powers to spin webs as well? It's not like that makes it any more plausible.
But you can't quit just because you did one bad thing. You never quit. That's why you're my hero.
It's the hard choices I'm always having to make.
Spidey still wants to quit, but Taina convinces him to take her web swinging, which I'm sure will be completely safe with no bad repercussions whatsoever.
Do you like my newest design, Spider-Man?
Of course, Doc Ock turns up and uses his new psychic Octobot to capture Spidey, before knocking him out with toxic gas. Why didn't he just do that first and kill him then? So this episode ends on a cliffhanger, and we get a different Fox Kids logo at the end with the Brady Bunch or something. We then get an exclusive Spider-Man promo, where someone keeps trying to take photos of Spidey, but misses every time.
There he goes! Oh, man, I give up. Seiji! Yeah, that's a little close. Spider-Man! Oh, man!
And what's up with this JJ voice?
You can get a great shot of Spider-Man with an extra episode right after school.
After school. I remember when that was a TV thing. We pick up with the second part, Attack of the Octobot, where Doc Ock takes Spidey away in his Ockmobile to his secret lair. Because those are so easy to find, Ock uses his new Brain Blaster to wipe Spidey's mind and convince him to help Ock steal the laser.
You mean to tell me that I'm a criminal?
You're wearing a mask, aren't you?
Meanwhile, Taina tries to tell the police about the evil octopus man capturing the amazing Spider-Person, but for some reason, they don't believe her, so Taina stows away in a taxi driven by this curious Caribbean woman.
Get out of there, girl! Nobody steal the ride in Mousy Cab!
I'm not stealing. I'm trying to get help for Spider-Man.
Ooh, little girl, you must think I just rolled off the coconut wagon.
She's like something out of Crazy Taxi. Since she was once saved by Spidey herself, she agrees to help Taina find him. Doc Ock and Spidey race off to begin their heist, and there's something weird to me about Spider-Man driving a car, a bit like all those vehicle toys they released back in the day. Like, why does Spider-Man need to drive around when he can web swing? Not that it stopped us from buying them, of course.
It should prove no match for the combined might of Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man.
Doc Ock and Spidey storm the facility, but the guards are well armed with giant laser blasters and robot tanks. Either these guys are extremely well funded, or the production team went to great lengths to avoid showing guns. But Spidey and Doc Ock get past the expensive toys and try to nab the laser, but Taina finds Spidey and helps him to remember who he is.
Who are you?
I'm your friend. You must remember.
I remember.
It's the power of love, I tell you. Spidey fights Doc Ock, but when he gets the squeeze put on him, Taina uses Doc Ock's psychic Octobot to stop him. That was a mouthful.
Mother of mercy! Is this the end of Octavius? Defeated by a child?
With Doc Ock webbed up for good, Spidey takes Taina home, and he even reveals his secret identity to her when she asks to see his face, which is quite touching.
For you, Taina.
Wow, you're Peter Parker.
Yes, that's who I am.
That is so cool. Thank you, Spider-Man.
I would say this is an optimistic, charming way to end the episode, but when Spider-Man leaves, it turns out that Taina is staying at a home for terminally ill children. Ouch. And people think Batman the Animated Series is dark. So that was the Spider-Man cartoon, and it's just as cool as I remember it. It's full of great Spidey action with awesome bad guys, and it's not a show that forgets its dark side either. You have to love that 90s style as well. And this show is a great reminder of why I love watching this after school, and why Spider-Man is one of the greatest superheroes. Catch you later, webhead. Next up is Medabots, not to be confused with BattleBots. This is a dub of an anime that I barely even remember. I think there were toys in the Argos catalogue once, and that's about it. Weirdly, this is the only Fox Kids DVD that has a 12 rating, which is pretty ominous. Is this some kind of violent show or something? Let's find out. Well, this one has a funky theme song, sort of like early 2000s yelling. Fortunately, this is the first episode of the show, so hopefully I won't be too confused. This one kicks off with a mysterious man protecting a suitcase, but it gets stolen by a group of human Teletubbies, only for the suitcase to get stolen again by the Scarlet Pumpernickel or something, who extracts a piece of special metal from inside, which he promptly loses. It's like these guys are trying to catch wet soap. It turns out this is a world where everyone has their own personal fighting robot, which is the kind of future I wished I lived in. Kids even fight with their robots in the school playground, making them an even more destructive replacement for Beyblades. Our main character is Icky, which is a pretty icky name, but you might as well call him Ash Ketchum. I mean, every one of these toy-based animes has one.
Dr. Bok Toy was built to help with homework. Sure, he's got fast legs. He's still a wimp.
Icky watches a robot fight between some girl and Mandoc's psychologically challenged brother, where one robot has to disable the other to win the match. Where have we heard that one before? We even get the robot stats, which seems awfully familiar. And what's up with the weird faces in the background?
Dr. Bok Toy submits! The winner is Samantha!
Mandoc loses the fight and runs off like Sonic, leaving Icky jealous because he can't afford a Medabot himself.
I mean, I could have taken that Metabot down in one shot.
I'd probably feel sorry for this kid if he wasn't so cocky. However, he passes a robot shop where the owner is nice enough to offer him an older robot for a small price, which Icky enthusiastically agrees to.
I'll buy the box for a nickel if you throw in the Metabot for free.
Wow, what an ungrateful brat. But Icky ends up finding the lost metal piece and has a psychotic episode, before running into our favourite heavy metal band, Spinal Trash.
Hey little girl, nice Metabot you got there.
Shame if something should happen to it.
Hey, get your hands off her!
Their faces are scarier than the robots. The band wants to fight, but since Icky turned down the robot, he can't face them, so he runs back to the shop to buy the old Metabot. Oh, now he wants it? And why are they haggling in space?
He always said someday he'd be a meta fighter. Looks like today's that day.
So Icky gets his hands on Metabee, a bot that clicks together in that very satisfying Power Rangers way, with the metal serving as his heart. They even give him a morpher too, but these were all great toys. Icky goes back to Spinal Trash and uses Metabee to smash them in a bot fight, which is somehow not nearly as destructive as bot fights in real life.
We surrender!
Icky celebrates becoming a bot master, much to the affection of his friends.
You're so pathetic.
But it turns out Metabee can speak, and he welcomes his new master by attempting to blast him with lasers. I see this as justice. So that was Medabots, which seems kind of like Robot Wars crossed with Cubist crossed with Power Rangers, but it doesn't really have the charm of any of them. The main character is a bit of a brat, and while some of the robots probably make for cool toys, the action isn't anything outstanding. I'd sum this up as the type of show your friend in school really likes, but you don't get it at all, and it seems like an attempt to cash in on the early 2000s robot trend, an era I'm personally very fond of, but I'd say Medabots is a lesser entry in that phase, and after all that, I don't see how this DVD managed to get a 12 rating. It wasn't really that violent. Well, according to the BBFC website, this DVD was actually rated U, which I guess makes this a printing error. At least we learned something from this one. Time to annoy more anime fans with Digimon. I talked about the VHS of the movie a long time ago, but now it's time to experience the actual show for the first time ever. I didn't watch this as a kid, being more into Pokemon, so this is new territory for me. This DVD only has one episode, and I can't even argue how amazing this theme song is, even if I didn't get the lyrics as a kid.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions.
Apparently, this is the first episode of the 3rd season, so already I'm at a lore disadvantage here. We start with this little Schnuggle-Wuggle escaping the digital world to end up in the real one, where we meet a boy called Takato, who's obsessed with Digimon, much like its many fans were. It's genius when you think about it. Takato shows up late to school and has to wait outside the classroom, which happened to me more times than I can count. Takato spends his spare time drawing his own Digimon creation, and things take a strange turn when he finds his new Power Rangers morpher amongst his trading card collection.
I'm going nuts. I'm sitting inside of a dinosaur with a Digivice, right?
Takato runs home to examine it, where his morpher merges with his Digimon drawing, causing a Tamagotchi egg to appear on the screen. I wish this is how it worked in real life. Takato falls asleep, and we get a trippy dream sequence, where two Digimon are fighting and, okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Pretty colors go boom. When Takato wakes up, he finds that his creation has hatched from his egg, and he searches the city to find his new Digimon appearing from a big hole in the ground.
It is him. Wow, he's perfect.
This is Guilmon, basically a cross between a dragon and a dinosaur. That's hot stuff. Guilmon seems pretty cool, but I don't approve of that look he's giving me. He approaches Takato and the episode just ends.
Will Takato get toasted on Guilmon's grill? Find out on the next Digimon, Digital Monsters.
Well, that taught me nothing. I know it's the 3rd season, but I assumed the first episode would at least explain something, so this show feels as impenetrable as ever to me. It certainly has the potential to be charming and interesting, but without more episodes on the disc, I'd just be completely confused if I had this DVD as a kid. The episode doesn't explain much about the digital world, or the gadgets, or the weird people sitting in chairs in PS1 world, so Digimon just leaves me digibaffled once again. What a shame. Well, here's one I do know, Sonic X. This is the only anime I ever watched regularly as a kid, being a big fan of the Sonic games at the time, but it's been ages since I last saw it. The Hogger better not mess this one up. The promo for this one is pretty cool, since it makes the show look like a video game.
Can Sonic, Tails and the gang find all the Chaos Emeralds and stop the evil Dr. Eggman? Be quick and catch all new Sonic X, all this week in Jetix on Fox Kids.
Stop calling it Jetix! The intro for the show is awesome too, with Sonic smashing stuff up, but one odd thing is that in the UK, the theme song was different. Truly inspiring lyrics. Once again, there's only the first episode, which begins with Sonic launching an attack on Dr. Eggman's giant mushroom base. In my day, he was called Dr. Robotnik, but comedy reigns supreme, I guess.
Why does that cursed Sonic always get in my way?
It's neat we get to meet some of the other Sonic characters as well, like Tails, Rosie the Rascal, and Knuckles.
Overkill, just like always.
He's like a tough guy, you know? Dr. Eggman has kidnapped one of the most irritating characters and stolen a Chaos Emerald to complete his evil plan. But what's up with this shot of Batgirl? Why is she looking right at the camera? Sonic arrives on the scene, but the Chaos Emerald malfunctions, and everyone looks on with mild curiosity as their entire world is destroyed. Has Sonic gone to hog heaven? No, he wakes up in our world and has to find his way back. Sort of like life on Mars with a blue hedgehog.
What are they all staring at?
Already I find this a strange idea. What's the obsession with putting Sonic in the human world? Don't you think his own world would be far more interesting? At least the old cartoons were set on that Mobius place, but this is pretty generic. Surprisingly, Sonic is a bit freaked out by the human world, and when the cops try to apprehend him, he makes a speedy escape.
I've never seen a blue hedgehog before, have you?
It must be one of them fancy new sports cars from overseas.
This human world idea was so worth it for the great dialogue. Most of the episode is the police trying to stop Sonic, and to be fair, it's well drawn and it looks great. I'm not sure why Sonic always has to run with his arms behind him though, that's confused me for 20 years. But since the police can't catch Sonic, they send out the Supersonic Racing Squad to get him instead. I wasn't aware the cops had that division. Meanwhile, Sonic stops to contemplate some truly deep thoughts about life.
The sky looks the same. So do the stars and the moon.
But the Speed Squad arrive on the scene, and their sinister leader Sam challenges Sonic to a race.
They call me the Highway Star, so even if you think you're the fastest thing around, think again.
I can't think of anything scarier than a guy dressed up like a NASCAR mascot. Of course, Sonic gives them the slip, and even has time for some witty quips.
This is dangerous! It's irresponsible! What happens if kids start trying this?
Kids, don't use Formula 1 race cars to chase hedgehogs.
Sonic runs so fast, he propels himself into outer space, and flies over the land like the true god he is.
See ya!
Well, maybe not. Sonic lands in someone's pool and can't get out. Ah, I get that reference, but it needs the proper music. It looks like Sonic is a drowned hog, but a young boy from the house nearby dives in to save Sonic, and they become best friends.
My name's Christopher. Do you have a name?
My name is Sonic the Hedgehog.
But by the end of the show, you'll wish he'd let Sonic drown. That's the end of this episode, and only now do we get the original theme song. Well, I'd say Sonic X delivers mixed results. It looks fantastic, but story-wise, the whole human world thing isn't that interesting. It's almost like an instant downgrade as soon as Sonic wakes up there. Still, there are a couple of funny quips, and some well-animated action, not to mention a few in-jokes, so this is one show that only makes you wonder what could have been. Our final DVD is Shin-Chan. This was one of the more obscure anime dubs on Fox Kids, and having not watched it in years, this feels like a demented fever dream. Even this intro makes me think I just ate some bad mushrooms.
Say hey, hey, Shin-Chan. Looking for trouble, he's your man.
So this show is about a kid called Shin-Chan, and if you are looking for trouble, he is your man. He's basically a badly behaved boy who drives his parents crazy, voiced by Kath Soucie in one of her more perturbing roles.
Oh, set, people! We're shooting a Michael Jackson video here!
You're kidding, where's Michael Jackson?
The old guy in the middle. Personally, I think he went a little too far this time with the surgery.
What's up with this kid? The first episode is called I Go Skiing, imaginative title, where Shin-Chan has to go on a school skiing trip with this nutcase teacher, leading to many risque jokes of epic proportions.
I'm wondering if you're gonna get up the nerve to kiss me.
And I'm wondering what time the bar opens.
Now it's just you and me, babe.
Leave me alone!
Okay, play hard to get.
At this point, I'd like to remind you, this DVD is rated U. Even the kid starts skiing with his buttocks out. Hey, Shin-Chan, put on some clothes and be a man.
There's something wrong with my legs.
Not from this angle.
Like, what is this show? Why are there so many bizarre transitions? Why is most of the focus on these two teachers bickering with each other?
Begging for a 5-year-old's attention? It doesn't get much sadder than that.
And whose attention you trying to get in that outfit, Slappy the Clown?
I don't expect you to understand fashion.
No, seriously, the whole subplot about the teachers just goes on and on.
Wanna talk hair? When you giving Cher her wig back? When you give Doofy Duck back that goofy bow?
I thought the show was called Shin-Chan, not Teachermon. Okay, so the story eventually gets back to Shin-Chan when he sneaks out of the hotel at night and finds the teacher. Are you sure this show wasn't meant for Adult Swim?
Don't you remember? We got it on.
Shin-Chan, your story's getting weird. I don't even know how to describe this series of demented events. It's just Shin-Chan careening from one rude joke to the next. I'm almost relieved when he crashes, because that means the show can end. But no, the wrongness only gets more wrong.
Hey, she's a hot dogger. Look at her buns. Don't worry, I just look like a kid. I'm actually a 45-year-old accountant.
Did they switch the age rating with Medabots around?
He's not like the other kids, is he, honey?
Understatement of the millennium. The promo for this one is about a new series of Shin-chan, featuring the birth of his new baby sister, which I presume is when this show jumped the shark, and inexplicably, it features an Irish narrator.
Fox Kids has been blessed with the miracle of a little baby girl, much to the shock of Shin-chan and his mother. Shin-chan, Series 2.
My brain just crashed. I'm not sure if I can make it through another episode of this show. This one is about going on vacation, as if the last vacation wasn't bad enough. Shin-chan and his family are preparing for their next big holiday, and I think his dad is on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
Vacations are supposed to be relaxing, but we never get to relax, do we?
They need to be ready in time, so Shin-chan's mother breaks out her Jackie Chan alarm clock?
Good movie!
What did he just say? Of course Shin-chan does everything he can to ruin his family's plans, like stealing the plane ticket so they'll be running late, leaving his parents at their wits' end. Then when they finally get on the plane, his dad starts eyeing up this flight attendant.
Not bad. Whoa! Humana. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw.
We found it! The show that's finally broken me!
He's looking at her legs! Gotcha! Your mama should have taught ya!
Woo! Woo!
Daddy and I will discuss this later.
So the family reach their destination and grab some fresh corn on the curb, while Shin-chan makes friends with the local wildlife.
Karuku! Karuku!
Wow, I can feel my brain cells melting with every second I watch this show. The last segment is Dad has a breakdown. No, it should be I have a breakdown. Shin-chan and his parents get a rental car for a jaunt in the country, but when the car breaks down, Mom and Dad get into an argument, making Shin-chan cry.
I'm scared.
Fight like this, honey.
Wait, now we're supposed to feel sorry for this kid after all the maniacal things he's done? I wish they'd just leave him on the side of the road. The family end up having to hitch a ride to a farm where they have to spend the rest of their holiday. Aww, poor them. Personally, I don't care if they get stranded there forever. I hope they do, as long as I never have to see anything like this again. Well, I think the theme song sums Shin-chan up. He's a little bit rude, a little bit crude, and a kid with an attitude. The wrong attitude? I mean, this has to be one of the most insane characters I've ever come across. Like, what's the deal with this kid? He's just out of his mind. And why does he always have to get his butt out? Like he does it in the show, the intro, it's even in the scene transitions. This show really disturbs me. It's just wrong. Get it off my screen. Well, that was another round of Fox Kids DVDs, and on the whole, I'd say it was yet another enjoyable trip into a time when getting these shows on small DVDs was a big treat. Except for that last show. No, naughty show, bad show, not supposed to exist, horrific, terrifying, never speak of it again. Goodbye.
Say hey, hey, Shin-chan. You're looking for trouble, he's your man. Say hey, hey, Shin-chan. He's breaking the rules the best he can. Little bit rude, a little bit crude. He's the kid with an attitude. Shin-chan. He drives his parents crazy. His teachers scratch their head.